Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody who has joined. Since it's 7:11 already, I think we should start. Right. Can anybody confirm? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much, sir. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Um, this is Aisha Sajjad, and today's session is brought to you by Fire Safety Management Institute. I would request somebody to please confirm, are my slides moving?
We cannot see the slides actually.
Okay, can you see now?
Yes, yes, we can. Yes, we
Are
can
they
see now.
moving? I hope they're not
Yeah,
stuck.
it's moving. No, it's
Thank you
moving.
so much. Thank you so much, sir. So today's, yes, thank you. So today's topic is environmental cleaning and disinfection for facilities management. First of all, we will break down what environmental cleaning and disinfection is. We are talking about why different facilities, different places, areas, and different kinds of environments need to be cleaned and disinfected regularly. Now, why do we need to clean and disinfect these surfaces? By cleaning, we obviously mean the regular cleaning that we do on a daily basis. But on the other hand, disinfection means that we are trying to get rid of disease causing organisms. We are trying to get rid of organisms that can cause different kinds of diseases for the people. These organisms technically known as pathogens. The word pathos comes from diseases. Therefore, small microorganisms or those organisms that cannot be seen through human naked eye are known as pathogens. And these are living organisms. These are biological organisms that can cause disease. Different kinds of pathogens are present on many surfaces around us. Whether we talk about the hospitals, we talk about industries, we talk about offices, we talk about houses, airports, shopping malls, we talk about restaurants. Every single place around us has surfaces that has different kinds of pathogens that can result in diseases after they have been touched. And these diseases are infectious. They can move or spread from one person to another, and therefore we need to prevent the spread of these infections. Hence, we are cleaning and disinfecting these surfaces to remove these pathogens. All right, so pathogens are of many different kinds. You might have heard the word viruses. For example, people say that I've got a virus. This is a seasonal virus, or it could be a bacteria. Viruses, they can be clarified with the help of this example that the COVID-19 virus was caused because of a virus called SARS-CoV-2. And bacteria, the E. coli bacteria is one of the most common bacteria that causes problems related to our stomach. Human beings very commonly have this disease called diarrhea, which is a stomach disease, and it is called by a bacteria. And then we have fungi, for example, molds that result in rotting the bread, oranges, and other food stuff is basically rotted because of these fungi. And then we have parasites. Parasites, the example is of tapeworm. These are the worms that are very commonly found inside the human gut and intestine. All right. So pathogens are of many different kinds. Many different kinds of these pathogens can be present on surfaces around us. Therefore, we need to clean and disinfect. This picture here shows that cleaning and disinfection is very important because, for example, an untreated surface, an uncleaned surface has many germs, bacteria, and viruses. For example, you see in this picture that these red dots represent germs. After this surface has been cleaned, we can visually see that the number of these germs, these dots, these organisms has decreased. So we can say that the germs that could have resulted in causing a disease for the people has decreased up to 10 to 90%. However, not just cleaning is important. We need to remember that cleaning and disinfection are two entirely different things. One complements the other. However, they cannot be called the same thing. So disinfection, after, first of all, we were done with the cleaning, and then we did disinfection. After disinfecting surface, disinfection was done, the germs have also reduced to a very huge number. They have been reduced for up to 99.9%. So we say that in order to have a surface free from all kinds of pathogens, or maybe almost all kinds of pathogens, we need to have cleaning followed by disinfection. Another picture on the right shows that cleaning removes dirt. This is a very important factor, that disinfectant should be before disinfection we need to have cleaning, because cleaning leads to dust removal. The cleaning and dusting that we do on a daily basis in our homes can be called as simple dirt cleaning or dust cleaning. After the dust has been removed from a surface, it becomes easier for a disinfecting chemical to deal with the bacteria and viruses and other organisms, or to kill them. So by disinfection we mean that we want to kill these microorganisms, we want to inanimate these organisms, or we want to remove these organisms. So first of all, we will do the cleaning, we will get rid of the dust or the soil or the dirt, and then we will move on to sanitizing and disinfecting. Sanitizing will kill some of the bacteria and viruses, but disinfecting, or the usage of a disinfecting chemical, will lead to the removal of bacteria and viruses and fungi and parasites and so on, to up to 99.9%. So why are we talking about environmental cleaning and disinfection of different facilities? Why do we need to clean different surfaces? First of all, we know that in order to prevent disease, for disease prevention and control, it is important that we regularly clean and disinfect surfaces. If we want to fight against viruses, if we want to take care of our health, we need to have proper, regular, routine cleaning and disinfection. So environmental cleaning could be of different kinds of surfaces. Some of the surfaces around us are very highly touched, are very frequently touched. For example, when we talk about an office, when people are visiting one specific office room, they will be coming again and again to that room. And how will they be entering the room? They will be touching the doorknob. So the doorknob can be called as a highly touched surface. And then we have other surfaces that are very highly touched. For example, the lights. People will be switching on the lights and the fans and the ACs over and over again. So these surfaces will be touched again and again and will be called as frequently touched surfaces. And then there will be surfaces where people will not be able to reach very easily. For example, the walls, the ceilings, and the blinds and curtains and stuff. On the other hand, the equipment in different offices, the equipment in different industries, all the machines that we have, the electronic devices that we have, these are highly touched surfaces. So why are we talking about these surfaces? Why are we talking about highly touched and minimally touched surfaces? We are saying that a routine cleaning of specifically the highly touched surfaces is very important, because the number of organisms that we might find on those surfaces might be very surprising if we view it with the help of a microscope. Therefore, in order to prevent the spread of disease, and in order to control the spread of disease, we need to have proper cleaning and disinfection. Now, there are other reasons why you need to have a proper protocol of environmental cleaning and disinfection. First of all, for example, if you're working in an office and you are an employer, and you observe that the employees who are working under you are getting sick over and over again, the number of people who are calling sick is increasing. A lot of people are applying for sick leaves, and they're also applying for different kinds of vacations because they want to just heal, and they have been getting sick over and over again. You can be observing that there has to be something wrong inside the office. There has to be something wrong in the facility where we are operating, that people are getting sick over and over again. And then you can also be very cautious about the cleaning if the place where you're working is very, very crowded. For example, if you are somebody working at an airport, you can have this idea in mind that a huge number of people are moving and sitting and going through this airport throughout the day. Therefore, it is a very crowded area. And if we do not have a cleaning and disinfection protocol in place, we might be becoming a center of disease spread. And then, in case of a disease outbreak, for example, in case of COVID-19, all of us became conscious, and all of us were made conscious through videos and social media messages that it is very important that we disinfect and sanitize and decontaminate our surfaces, our houses, our offices, our mobiles, the gadgets that we have, because of the outbreak of the COVID-19. So if we want to protect our family members, if we want to protect the people working around us in the facility, we need to have better cleaning protocols. And then you can also have environmental cleaning and disinfection if you want to enjoy these benefits. For example, if less number of people are getting sick at your office, they will be getting less absentee leaves, and thus the number of people getting absent from the offices and the number of people who are not working on a daily basis can be reduced. Also, the fact that you will have to pay for their medical bills, you will not be getting that problem also. Number three, because of the fact that that your facility, the industry or the office, the airport, or whatever facility you are working at is very clean and disinfected, and it can be observed visually also, then the reputation will also be increases. On the other hand, the machinery and the equipment, which is just generally cleaned and kept maintained and monitored on a daily basis, has a longer life. And other stuff also, we say that a door is cleaned properly, it can be maintained and kept better for a longer period of time. Now, what are the different principles and best practices of environmental cleaning and disinfection? We want to say that cleaning and disinfection needs to be done in our specific area, and I want to have this procedure. But what is the principle? What are the best practices that I need to have? How do I do that? And if you want to do this, what is the kind of a longer procedure that I will be following, so that I am able to achieve better objectives? For this, first of all, you need to be very cautious about the OSHA requirements, Occupational Safety and Health Administration requirements that have been provided need to be followed. After that, if you want to just go on with an operation, and if you want to clean and disinfect a specific facility, maybe you're doing it for the very first time, how can you do it? First of all, you need to make sure that the ventilation, the air conditioning, and the air circulation in that specific area is very good. Number two, the workers who are going to indulge in this cleaning and disinfection need to wear proper gear. They need to wear professional protective equipment. For example, for using disinfecting chemicals that might be abrasive, they might be causing damage to their skin. So they need to be wearing their gloves and gowns and aprons, and specific caps are there. And then there are two kinds of gloves. Maybe one of them is inner glove, and then you will be wearing another pair of gloves outside of it. And then there are specific kinds of boots, and then masks and stuff. So you need to be very properly prepared for that. Number three, the person who's indulging in environmental cleaning and disinfecting, the worker who's going to do it, needs to be very aware of the hazards of different kinds of chemicals. Number four, you start with number. So first of all, you were prepared for it, and then you started with the procedure. First of all, you clean the surfaces. As I said, that cleaning has to be the first thing that you do. First of all, you need to get rid of the dust and the soil that is present on different surfaces, so that it will be more appropriate. It will be more easier for the disinfecting chemicals to work and move on those surfaces, leading to better results. After the cleaning, you will be disinfecting those surfaces, and then you will be leaving the disinfectant chemical. For example, you use a chlorine based chemical, so you will be spreading, or you will be spraying that chemical on a specific surface. For example, you are cleaning the door, you are cleaning the wall, so you will be spraying that disinfecting chemical on the surface, and you will make sure that that chemical stays on there for a longer time, and it is just allowed to sit over there. It is provided its time, which is known as the wet time, that it is allowed to react and work in the best possible manner on that surface. The chemical reaction is allowed to happen, so that we could get better results. After which, the surface is removed, the surface is washed away with the help of maybe sponges. We have different kinds of wipes, we have different kinds of specialized microfiber cloths, we have different kinds of wipers and other equipment that can be used for cleaning away that surface. Afterwards, the person who has been indulged in this will be rinsing his hands, will be getting rid of the equipment, personal protective equipment that he was wearing, and then update the safety sheet. In different facilities, especially occupational facilities, we have specific checklists or safety sheets that need to be updated based on how much cleaning was done, which surface was cleaned, what is the schedule that was followed, who did the procedure, which staff member was indulged, and so on. So different safety sheets or checklists need to be maintained after the cleaning has been done. Okay. So when we talk about best practices, we previously talked about which principle needs to be followed, how do we clean and disinfect, what is the procedure that needs to be followed in a very professional manner. Now we talk about the things that need to be avoided, things that do not need to be there, that should not be there. For example, the first symbol shows that if you're not sure of which chemical is it, or you're not sure of which disinfecting substance this is, you shouldn't be using it without knowledge. For example, one chemical, for example, if you use a very abrasive, a very strong chemical on a glass surface, the glass might be damaged. Or we use another acid based chemical, the surface can be very very much harmed. Therefore, you should be very clear of which substance you're using for which surface. Afterwards, these disinfecting chemicals should always be placed away from the reach of children. Number three, you should always ignore and avoid the fact of mixing different chemicals. For example, you should not be experimenting on your own. You should not be just sitting and thinking on how more stronger chemicals can be made, and you're just sitting over there and mixing different chemicals. This should not be done. You are not an expert of the fact, therefore you shouldn't be mixing chemicals, because this can lead to some really serious consequences. So the chemicals that are using should be used according to the instructions that have been provided on it. Number four, you should not be consuming those disinfecting chemicals, and should also not be very careless about it. Your face should be covered, your hands should be covered, so the fumes do not get inside the mouth and the nose and cause harms to your health. And then the disinfecting chemicals that you have, if you're an expert and you know which chemical is it and which chemical is there in which bottle, you shouldn't be leaving it unlabeled for other people, because other people might not be aware of which chemical is it, and it can be used for a very wrong purpose. It can be used for cleaning another surface there where it should not be used. That could lead to something we shouldn't be having. Therefore, the chemicals that are placed on a specific shelf or an area, or a cupboard or a closet, they need to be very properly labeled. It should be labeled on them in some very understandable language, that this is that specific chemical, it is hazardous or it is non-hazardous, or it can be used for this purpose, it should not be used for this purpose. And then these disinfecting chemicals should also be kept away from pets. And then it is very important that the chemicals that we are using for cleaning and disinfection should be ecologically safe. For example, those chemicals should be CFC free, so that they are not harming the ozone. Now, effective cleaning protocols for different types of facilities. Before you are having a proper procedure for cleaning, the facility needs to be assessed. This is more important for more professional facilities, more industrial facilities. So facility needs to be assessed very carefully. You need to have a proper protocol to follow, a schedule, a checklist, a proper timetable needs to be followed. The employees must be very aware of what they're doing, and they need to be provided the right kind of supplies, along with which the quality of the working, the procedure needs to be measured, monitored, and controlled side by side. And the workers also need to be very much communicated. They need to be very aware of the procedure that they are going to do. Okay, so how do we select which chemical needs to be used for which? So we see that for glass and hardwood flooring, there are different kinds of chemicals to be used. For plastic, there is a different kind of chemical. For steel and switches and buttons and electronics, so every single thing, there is a different kind of chemical that needs to be used. So we need to be careful about this. For example, for glass, we need to have non-harsh and non-abrasive and very simple kind of chemicals, so that a glass is not harmed, so that marks and stretches are not formed in glass. Similarly, for lamination and plastic surfaces, you can have all-purpose agents that are available in the market. For steel surfaces, you can have acid cleaners. For switches, buttons, and electronic devices, specialized electronic sprays and different disinfected chemicals are present and available in the market. We just talked about how detergents and soaps and different disinfecting chemicals can be used. But now, with the emerging trends and different new technologies coming up, we have some very latest technology also, which is going to save our time, which is also going to save the effort, and is also going to need lesser people, lesser human beings for it. For example, we have robots, we have AI based machines, we have Internet of Technology based things, we have those mobile devices that work on their own. They don't need to be monitored, they just need to be automated once, and they will be working on their own for a specific amount of time. For example, they will have different vapors and aerosols in them. And then light based devices are becoming very, very famous nowadays. For example, UV based, ultraviolet based devices work and are automated and mobile. They move around, they clean surfaces. And this is also especially important for industrial spaces where there are longer areas, and that you need to have more machines that are fast and automated, and they also work in a very specifically amazing manner. Then you can have pulsed xenon UV light systems and hydrogen peroxide systems. All of these are some really latest technologies that are not very much used nowadays, but they will be becoming more common in the coming years. And then we have specific chemicals that are used more when it comes to industries. So we have heavy duty detergents, we have different kinds of cleaners that are specific for electronics. For metals, we have scale removers. For specific places where there could be acids spreading around, for example, there's a laboratory and you can have acid spills. For that, for preventing our copper and brass and other surfaces from different kinds of acid spills, we have cleaners that are made of hydrochloric acid. And for spaces where we can have oil spills, we can have specific oil spill dispersants that are used. So that was all about environmental cleaning and disinfection tonight. Thank you so much for attending the sessions. Now you can ask questions if you have. Do we have any questions, any interaction? All right, so I'll take that as a no. And with this, we come to the end of the session, I hope. And thank you so much for attending, everybody. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
लेकिन कदी भी नहीं कीता ना ते ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਰਿਹਾ
टीम का असल और सलाम च मसला एक ही है और कोई भी काम करे ना तारीफ शरीफ करिए ना फिर टुरे आ रहा
ਹਾਂ
जे चुप कर